Hello, today I want to share my experience as an immigrant in the province of Quebec. I just finished writing this article. Quebec doesn't want its citizens to learn English. My experience in Quebec started 25 years ago when I decided to immigrate to Canada. When I was looking at the Canadian map, I saw that I have many choices and I chose Quebec particularly because I wanted to learn the French language. I was enamored with French literature and many things that deal with the French language itself. So yes, why not? Quebec looked like an amazing place. In particular, Montreal, because I saw it as a multicultural city, which it still is. I mean, I love Montreal just because I can get out of my apartment and I speak three languages, but I hear so many other languages being spoken about me, and to me that gives me lots of pleasure. It makes me feel like I'm in a metropole that is open to everyone. But anyways, never mind that. So I came to Quebec and I went to study at Concordia University. And right from the start, I started taking French classes. I wanted to learn French. I took phonetics, grammar, writing, listening, every possible French class there was at the university. I studied French for 4 years. Of course, I was never able to get rid of my Spanish accent, which I still have, and I don't think I will ever be able to get rid of it. And in fact, I'm finally getting accepting that that's who I am, and I'm going to just own it instead of trying to change it. So I took 4 years of university classes, and in addition to that, I used to listen to French speaking TV, radio programming in French, and I found a beautiful Quebecois girlfriend. So what else? This was my door into the French culture, to just be dating a Quebecois girlfriend who was showing me all the slangs and all the different regions in Quebec and so on and so forth. So all that, I finally finished university, I graduated, and I wanted to get a job. I studied finance, and guess what? In spite of the economy being doing good at that time, and there were scarcity of workers, I was not able to find a job. And I thought that I was very well qualified, but what happened is that as soon as I spoke in French, my employers knew that French was not my first language, and so all of a sudden they were no longer interested in me. And to be honest, this broke my heart because I have been trying so hard and I've been diligent with my studies, so on and so forth. I've been really trying to integrate myself into the French language, and there was a tipping point, and I said, screw this, I'm going to stop trying. It's just Quebec doesn't want me. So I opened a dance school in which I was able to speak Spanish, and most of my students were Anglophones and people from many other countries, and just some Francophone as well. But I was able to thrive, not because I assimilated myself to the French language, but because I was able to emphasize my own culture, and I have been living as a dance teacher ever since. But I have noticed that there have been many new laws coming into the Canadian Parliament that are meant to suppress other languages and are all meant to suppress other culture. And I feel like I have a gun against my head that says either you speak French with, or you get out of here, or assimilate or die. And it's just very sad that that's the sensation that I feel, and that's the sensation that many of my immigrants friends feel. Anyway, so I just want to highlight that this attitude from the Quebec government is also hurting its citizens, because the business language of the world is English, and the research language of the world is English, and the computer language of the world is English. So by preventing its own citizens to learn English just because of the idea of protecting the French language, they are hurting their own citizens. And the idea of this blog came about because last night I was speaking to a person that I know, a Francophone, who did his whole life studying in French. He's a proud nationalist, so on and so forth. But he finally had to learn English in order to be able to practice his profession in a place outside of Quebec because there were not enough job opportunities inside of Quebec. So this person was lucky enough to be able to learn enough English in order to get a job somewhere else outside of the province. But how about if we think of all these other people who were bought into the politics and decided not to learn English in spite of their own career prospects? And those people, they have to take now a lesser paying job, or they lack opportunities, or they cannot go to the full potential of their abilities. So this is something to think about. The Quebec government, I think it should be more opening to other languages. It shouldn't be so paranoid with the French language. The French language is a beautiful language. And if they stop oppressing immigrants, I think more immigrants will accept it and love it. So those are my thoughts. Thank you so much for listening, and talk to you soon. Bye.